Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask, Learn, Grow, the show where the Reef team answer questions and share updates and insights from the digital marketing industry. I've got SEO specialist Tessa with me today, and we're going to be talking about blog post optimization. So to get us going with this, why should we optimize blog posts? Before we talk about what optimizations are beneficial, why should we optimize blog posts at all?
Yeah, so blogs are one of the most effective ways to bring in traffic to your website. So by optimizing these by using the SEO best practice, we'll be getting a number of benefits from your website. So these include an increase in traffic to your website. You'll also see an increase in brand awareness, as an optimization will help your blog post rank higher in Google. So therefore users will see these higher and therefore click onto your page. It also improves engagement on your website, as your content will be higher quality. It also has the power to drive growth, and it can give you a competitive advantage over those that don't have a strong blog by boosting the authority of your website and providing users with value.
Okay, great. So can you talk us through any kind of steps or process for optimizing a blog post and the sort of most important things to look at?
Yeah, so to help, I've broken it down into 6 ways that you can optimize a blog post, just to make it simple. So the first one that we're going to start with is keyword research. So this is the first thing that you should always do because it helps you understand the keywords that you should rank for, and it helps give you the idea of what users are searching for and the exact phrase that they are searching. So at Reef, we use a tool called SEMrush to do this. And what we do is usually per blog, we choose about 4 to 5 keywords that we think that blog should rank for and aim to include these as much as possible throughout the optimization process.
Okay, great. So when it comes to blog content and keyword research, keyword optimization, is there any more further insights you can give around keywords when it comes to SEO and blog content versus perhaps like a main services page? Are there any differences or anything to discuss there?
Yeah, so I'd say for a blog post, the best one would be long tail keyword research. So these are not just those short keywords, they're actually the ones that come in longer forms, and they're generally questions that your users may have. So these are really good to answer because obviously this is what they're searching for. Again, you can find this on SEMrush and also other tools that help you with your keyword research, and they give you a better understanding into what your users are searching for.
And the other point now is like search intent as well. So if you're basing research and content and optimizing the content around questions and information that people are actually searching for, you're going to appeal to those earlier in the customer conversion journey. And with it being long tail keywords, it's lower competition, so it should attract more people to your website and generate more awareness as well as search visibility. Cool. Okay, so what's did you say the 6 steps? What's step number 2?
Yeah, so step number 2 is metadata. So your metadata includes your meta title and your meta description. So this is what shows up on the Google search results. So therefore you should optimize this because what you want to do here is entice users to click onto your page. So what you should do is you should give them information about what your blog is about, but not too much that they don't feel the need to click onto your page. So you should, again, just entice them to click onto your page by giving them a snippet about what your blog is about. So try to include your keyword here in both the title and the description, because obviously this is what they're searching for, so they'll be more enticed to click on it if you include that there. So for your meta title, it should be around 65 characters, and for your description, it should be 165 characters. You don't want to do any more than this because otherwise it will cut out and not show up, but also any less will mean that you're not making use of your full words, and therefore if you're not including your keywords, you're missing out on rankings there.
You made a good point there as well. It's the metadata is not just about trying to get you need to get the keyword in, like you quite rightly said, but it's to entice the click rather than just to appeal for search engines. Click-through rate obviously being another key SEO metric and driving more traffic. So good way to think about these is write them as if it's like a mini ad to almost sell the click, if you like. As long as it's not over-promising and under-delivering when they actually get to the content. That's another good tip to when approaching metadata. All right, cool. What's the third step, please, Tessa?
Okay, so the third point is to do headings. So this will help both the users and the search engines to read and understand your content a bit better. So the way search engines read your content is they start with the headings. So if you include your keywords here, they'll get a much better understanding and rank your page higher if you have your keywords. And then for users, if you break up your content by using your headings, then it will give them much better readability and they'll be able to scan the content and find what's relevant for them. Another thing is that you should always ensure that your headings are tagged correctly. So you should only have one H1, and then following that, you should have as many H2s as you require, but make sure that these are tagged correctly. And CMSs such as WordPress will help you with this.
And another good tip for the headings when it comes to scannability is sort of like a general rule of thumb. A person should be able to get the key points from your article from reading the headings alone. So there should always be sort of value-rich headings where you can skim the article, just read the headings and kind of get the sort of main gist of it and the main points just from that. So that's a nice little thing to have in mind as well.
Okay, so step 4 is to update your content. So here you should go through your content and read it in detail. You should update, say there's any old statistics in there, you should update these and make them more relevant for the users that are reading them now. You should also go through and fix any spelling or grammar mistakes that you may find. And also if you found that there's a new keyword that you'd like to rank for, you could also create new copy and use that heading as the keyword, and then add on to this with any relevant information that you think is necessary.
How often would you look to update content? Is there any sort of general rule of thumb? Does it depend on the niche? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it depends on the niche really, and I guess how much you have on your website. For example, some websites have close to 100 blogs on them, but some might only have 10. So if you have a smaller blog, then you should update it more frequently. I'd say at least maybe once a year per page. But if you have those higher blogs, then maybe you could only get to one at least once every couple of years. But that's also fine because as long as you're doing it continually, that will make a huge difference.
Yeah, so if you have got like loads of content on your site and obviously there's a trade-off between how much time you're going to put into this, and annually is a great suggestion, Tessa, to review and update content. But if you can't do all of it, if you've got tons and tons of content on your website, just take the sort of highest performing batch and have a look there to review that and how that could be improved from updating it. Another view might be to look at older content as a separate batch, but I think we're going to come on to that in just a moment. Okay, cool. So what's the next step, please, Tessa?
Okay, so the next step is internal links. So once you've updated the copy, you should add internal links into places where you find it's relevant to direct users to another page on your website. So this might be where they can find out more information or direct them to a product or service that you provide on your website. So yeah, you should ensure that the anchor text that you link to is relevant, because if you're linking to a product in an anchor text that's not relevant to that page, then users will just click off your page straight away and they will lose that trust in your brand. You should also include only one URL post per page. So don't continually link to the same page, like say 5 times in a blog. You should only link to it once. So the aim of internal linking is to provide users with value and give them somewhere to click through to. And this also increases your engagement levels on your website, as they're spending more time on your website and clicking through to that next page, which is really what you want from your blog posts.
And there's SEO value in that too. So if you've got a sort of a page on your site that internally links to another page on your site, then the authority, or the old school term of link juice, as SEOs will call it, will pass from that page to the other page. So that page that it links to is going to get some SEO credit, if you like. It's like a vote that will help improve the visibility of this page in search. All right, cool. So we've got one more step, I believe.
Yeah, one more.
Great.
Yeah, so the last step is to add a call to action. So a call to action may not be relevant for all blog posts, so make sure it is. For example, if it's like an emotional story or something, it may not be relevant, but I'd say generally for most blog posts it could be. So in your call to action, you should direct your users off to, say, a product or a service that you offer, just so that you can convert them to the next step and move them down the customer conversion journey, where they're more likely to make a purchase or a conversion on your website.
And then if your product or service is quite like a complex, expensive or high consideration purchase, then instead of linking directly to that, you might want to use your CTA to offer a lead magnet and build your subscriber base where you can further nurture them for the more complex or higher consideration products. If you've got e-commerce or lower consideration products and services, then like Tessa said, calls to action within web content could well work as well. The key is to test and find the highest performing ones for you. So Tessa, we mentioned a little bit earlier in this episode about the older content on your website. So is it a good idea to spend time optimizing and working on old content as well as sort of the more recent stuff that you're publishing? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a number of benefits that you can get from optimizing your old blog posts. One of these can be that you revive them, so you generate more traffic from work that you've previously done. So optimizing obviously takes a lot less time than rewriting a whole blog post. So by doing this, you're using that work that you've already done and just taking this and making it even better. They also have the benefit of their domain age. So Google uses domain age as a ranking factor. So the longer posts have been up, the higher chance they have of being ranked in those higher positions on search engine result pages. So that's another reason that you should focus on optimizing these old blog posts.
Fantastic. So just to have a quick recap on what we've been through, it's a good idea to optimize new and old blog posts because it can help generate more traffic and higher search visibility, not just for that page, but more site-wide, as well as user engagement. 6 key factors to bear in mind to optimize is keywords, of course, metadata, headings, updated, keeping your content fresh and up to date, internal links and calls to action. So that kind of wraps up today's call. If you've got any questions about this topic or anything digital marketing related, do send them in and we're always happy to help. If you'd like to put a burning question to the team for one of the future videos, send those in too and we'll see what we can do. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of when the next video is available. Apart from that, thanks all for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.